Thank you for tuning in to the Voice of the Victim podcast. We discuss a lot of sad and potentially triggering things on this show. We try to be as sensitive and cautious as possible, but if you are sensitive to things involving abuse and may be triggered, please think twice before listening to our show.
Welcome to the Voice of the Victim podcast. My name is Ryan.
And my name is Rosie.
How are you this week?
I'm good. I had a long period off, like almost a full week. That was bizarre. Like, since I've started this job, I need to get used to decently long periods off.
Rosie works a chunk, and then she has a chunk off.
It's like 7 days on, 5 days off, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it just felt like a long time. So today was my first day back, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Like, I've never actually been, like, ready to go back to work.
Yeah.
But it was a good day. My little guy, he's just the cutest. I told my boss I would like a clone of your child. That's the only way.
Oh, I know. He's so sweet.
Never mind. Anyway, my 11-year-old, I'm just going to plug this for her. She's making bracelets for a cause. She's hearing impaired, and she's trying to get money raised to give to hospitals and schools to have masks with, like, a plastic inset so she can lip read. She can't, it's super frustrating for her.
Have you mentioned she has a hearing impairment?
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So if anybody's like interested in her little biz, it's cute. It's like $5 a bracelet, or you can just make
Is there a website?
Donation. We're working on it. Definitely.
Like, how do you order?
Through me. I would just take orders for her and send them to the mom.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a cool. We were doing that today. It's a lot of work, but
so if you are interested in getting a bracelet that helps a cause that Rosie is helping to make, reach out to Rosie.
Yeah.
You can message us on like Instagram or Facebook or email us, VoVPodcast@gmail.com. Before we get into your episode, because Rosie's taking the lead this week, we are going to share a review. And, first let's thank our new patrons. We want to thank Shelly. Shelly's awesome. She went and checked out my YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, she did.
That was really sweet.
Yeah, that was sweet.
And also, we want to thank Blanca, who also just became a patron. So thank you so much, both Shelly and Blanca.
There's a few more we haven't heard from.
Yeah, there's a few that I have messaged that haven't gotten back to me. So if you are a patron, recently signed up, and you want a shout out, check your Patreon messages. Mm-hmm. Before we read our review, I want to give a shout out to our friends at Tiny Life Stories.
Life Stories.
Yeah, they just launched a podcast where they talk about their experiences and share other people's experiences of living Tiny living, yeah. They've been actively tiny living for the past
6 months?
What is it?
6 to 8-ish?
Yeah,
No,
I think
6-ish.
since February or January. Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, go check them out. They're really cool people. They've always been supportive of our podcast, and we appreciate that. So if you're interested, go check them out. That's Tiny Life Stories.
Tiny.
And I know they're on Apple Podcasts because I found them there. So, all right, let's share a quick review. And I went back a ways to July, is that a 9? Yeah, July 9th, this review came in from Australia, KZ. So that's the name. Thank you, KZ.
Okay.
It's called this. I'm not used to reading the reviews.
Okay.
You usually do it. But since you're taking the reins this week.
Yep, read it.
Sorry, it's my first time. All right. It's called This Show Evolves Over Time. They said, I have now finished binging this series, and overall I have enjoyed it. Rosie started off so quiet, but since she did her own story, Rosie has evolved into a confident presenter. Great work. I agree with many others that the couple are passionate about the victims and have a great relationship. If you're after a polished, no personality show, then this is not for you. With these guys, you have their cats, phone pings, and personal opinions, which sometimes are a little lengthy, but
that was
appreciate
at
it.
you.
Yeah,
I
for
can
sure.
tell.
Also, ice makers
Yeah.
and mouth noises I've heard. Anyway, they said,
Like that? That was like a mouth noise.
I'm so sorry. Sometimes are a little lengthy, but appreciate it. Keep going, guys. You're
Like
doing
how?
well.
Oh, that's really sweet.
I'm so sorry, you guys. That I did not mean to do that.
Maybe we'll cut that
Probably
out
cut it
and they
out.
won't even know what we're talking about. Maybe.
Then it would be weird.
We'll just assume that we did them a favor.
True. Okay. Anyway, I've talked enough. This episode of Voice of the Victim podcast is supported by Best Fiends. By now, you must have heard of Best Fiends. They have over 100 million global downloads. Everyone is playing it, and you should too. Many of us have a lot of free time right now, and one of my favorite ways to fill that time is with mobile games. And Best Fiends is one of my go-to choices. It challenges your brain with fun puzzles, but it's super laid back and casual because no one needs more stress at a time like this. So Rosie, will you explain Best Fiends to our listeners just in case they haven't heard of it?
Oh, man. Well, let me say Best Fiends is the only game I play on my phone, actually. I'm very exclusive.
Wow. Loyal to Best Fiends.
I am very loyal to Best Fiends. It's pretty much a puzzle game where you have to line up as many of the same suit items as you can, and you beat the levels by destroying these big slug bosses or saving bugs.
You just beat a level last night that you were stuck on for a long time.
I did, and now I'm at 326. Can you believe that?
No, I can't.
And
That's amazing.
what I really like about Best Fiends is they also have like these little challenges and quests that you can do. Well, sometimes I don't even notice that I'm in the quest or the challenge, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, hey, I win, and then I
Yeah.
can get rewards. So
It's
right
very
now,
intuitive.
it is.
Like it just flows. You know, some games you go in there, you don't really know what to do. Best Fiends, it's perfect. It just flows.
You don't even know that you're like in this quest and you're winning. So I don't know, it's really fun.
Best Fiends, it's a puzzle game made for adults, but it has lots of bright colors and cute characters you can collect, as Rosie just said. And it never gets old because they update it every month with new events. You don't need to be connected to the internet to progress through the game, which is another big draw. So engage your brain with fun puzzles and collect tons of cute characters. Trust me, with over 100 million downloads, this 5-star rated mobile puzzle game is a must play.
That's Friends without the R.
So download Best Fiends free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. Again, Rosie, what is it?
Best Fiends. That's Friends without the R. Best Fiends.
What are you talking about this week, Rosie?
Okay, so this life we are living in has been hard. And today I had a good day. That I guess was a mistake.
That's why I thought it was very odd what you said at the beginning, because it's such a contrast to what you were going to talk about.
Well, to be fair, I have been really PMS-y and emotional. And when I was writing this, I was super down. That's okay, though. It still applies.
Well, yeah, it's definitely something that comes in waves that I've noticed, because, like, last week, you were super down because of your own biological...
Makeup.
Yes. And I was super down with, I don't know what. You know, things just go that way sometimes. I even wrote a song about it, but anyway, you're taking the lead, so.
All right. Well, I was just going to start off with saying, like, even though I'm in high spirits today, and today was actually decent, overall, with everything that's happening, today is a hard day for most people. Today, we're all living in a pandemic. Every single one of us are slightly nervous, even if we don't want to admit it, about getting a disease that could not only hurt or kill us, but also infect and kill the ones that we love most. Also, today, the human race is generating 3.5 million tons of plastic and other solid waste.
Wow, we're really going down a dark path here.
Some of it's being buried, some of it's being burned, other waste is being dumped into the ocean. Today, people are being murdered, lost, heartbroken, you name it. People are pelting animals' skins. Animals are getting slaughtered for their tusks or their teeth, and businesses are closing. Children are going to bed hungry, and wars are starting. It, literally never ends.
And that's just off the top of your head, right?
Life is so hard right now. And even as I typed this very sentence, I felt guilty for saying that, because I know how good I have it.
Yeah, we are very fortunate that we still have jobs and we're not sick.
Right. Like, I don't have it good. I actually have it amazing. Like, I've got my house. I have my pets.
Relatively, things are good for us right now.
Right. And even with all this going on, I'm like sinking, you know? I feel like it's just been super hard. And I haven't even told Ryan this yet, but I've been thinking about going back on anxiety medication for a few days. Like, I just feel like my mind is a rabbit and the world is like the fox chasing me around. Like, I go. I never stop thinking. And Ryan has to literally tell me just to stop and sit down and relax. And
True.
It's true. It's just, it hurts to see what's happening in the world. I get so caught up in these rabbit holes on YouTube, and I can never just be normal and watch something happy, like a makeup tutorial. It just makes me want to slam my head against the wall.
I have something to add to that. What you're saying is very true, because after we did the Wayfair episode, Rosie spent the next hour and a half after we finished recording, like, going down a rabbit hole, looking at other conspiracy theories. And then last night, when I mentioned a conspiracy theory I heard about, the one I heard on Joe Rogan about
The fetal
late-term
trafficking,
abortions, which were after birth, then...
AKA fetal trafficking.
Oh, yeah, fetal trafficking. Basically harvesting organs from...
It's basically keeping alive aborted babies long enough for them to harvest organs and sell them.
Again, this is a conspiracy theory, but Rosie got super into it and went down a rabbit hole. And I'm curious if any of our listeners know any more about that. Let us know, because that is...
I hit a wall with
up.
that. I couldn't... You get so deep, and then all of a sudden, like, you can't go farther with some stuff.
Yeah,
And that was
well, it
what
was
I
in
did there.
Okay, it came from Alex Jones, who, if you know who Alex Jones is...
I don't even like Alex Jones.
He's not the most stable seeming person.
No, he's a spaz.
But it's hard to discount the fact that that governor from, what was it, Vermont? Was talking about...
No, it wasn't Vermont. It was a southern state. It was Alabama, I think.
No, Alabama's what I said, but then when they said it, it was a New England area state. Anyway, doesn't matter which state. Some governor was talking about it, and some of the stuff he said was suspicious.
A little terrifying.
But we shouldn't talk about it yet because we don't really know.
Working on it, but don't know. But that's my point, is that I get into these rabbit holes that are always like, top 10 saddest cities in the world, or like the strangest secret practices in third world countries.
What were the top 10 saddest cities in the world?
Well, the one was in Peru that I've mentioned millions of times.
On the mountaintop?
Yeah.
Where they don't have any clean water and
or
nowhere
air
to put their waste?
Yeah, and it's just garbage. And there's a lot of garbage cities out there. Well, at least 5 that I've...
Was Seattle on the list?
No, of course not.
I've heard a lot of people say it's a depressing place to live because of the rain, but I disagree.
No,
I really
I'm
like
talking
Seattle.
like physically garbage everywhere, not like sarcastically. Anyways, with all that being said, I wanted to take a break from true crime today because honestly, you guys, like, how can you even take a true crime podcast? I give you guys a lot of credit for listening to true crime because even I have taken a break from true crime podcast.
Yeah. It's hard to talk about all the time.
It is. And so I'm like, man, you guys, I'm going to force you to not listen to true crime on the true crime podcast show.
Well, I mean, we're very aware of the reason we do it because I feel like these stories are really important to be understood.
Well, they totally are.
But at the same time, we all need a break once in a while.
And this is your forced break. Your forced vacation. So
if you're still here, if you haven't clicked away, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt again. I just need to give people a disclaimer.
Yeah.
I am drinking coffee right now, which I don't usually drink while we're recording, and I get very chatty when I drink coffee. So I just want people to know. Okay.
So a couple weeks ago, I went up to visit my mom for the day, and my mom lives in northern Minnesota. It's like a super small town. It's the type of town that every time I drive through it, I'm always thinking, man, I don't want to live here.
It's on Highway 8.
It's not my style. It's not my type of place that I would imagine myself living in. Besides the point. So anyways.
It reminds me of where I grew up.
Yeah.
In Rice Lake, Wisconsin. it's not like uncivilized, but it's off the grid.
It's off the grid. But it's cute. So anyways, Mom, I visit her at the house, and then she takes me to a few stores. And by the way, this town that she lives in, it's a sister town to a Swedish town, and the Swedish town is called Tingsgård. And so most of the shops there are like super Swedish, and I've never given it much thought, but I'm super Swedish. So
yes, now I know what we're talking about. You're getting into your Scandinavian roots.
So I went in one of these stores, and most of the stores are very, you guessed it, Swedish. And there's this little book called The Little Book of Lagom. Okay?
Can I just take a sec to give out a shout out to True Crime Sweden? Remember, we were next to her at the podcast festival, and she was so nice.
Yeah, she was. They all were. There was like 3 of them.
Oh, yeah, her daughters were there, too.
Yeah. So I bought the book, and I wasn't really thinking that much about it, except like, oh, this is like a cute coffee table book from my homeland. And also I did find a new appreciation for the town. Mom, I'm sorry that I said I wouldn't want to live there. It's actually more fun than I thought. I haven't been there in a long time. Thank you. I love you, Mom.
They have a holiday and a liquor store, so.
Important. And a carpet store.
And an Arby's.
Yep, they do.
Did you know that Arby's was like a phonetic way of roast beef? Like RB?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
I'm sorry, it's the coffee.
So when I got home, the book wasn't really touched for a couple days, but once I started to read it, I got really into it, and it's almost just what I needed. So I'm going to preach to you guys the practice of Lagom.
Preach?
Yeah. I'm going to show you the way and talk to you about Lagom, which is the Swedish way to balance your life. Okay?
Very cool.
First of all, hygge. Everybody knows what hygge is. It was like the 2016 trend.
Oh, is that part of Lagom?
No. No, it's not. Not at all. The Danish art of hygge is about savoring simple daily pleasures and enjoying moments of calm, which is great. I love hygge. I also have a book on that.
Very important.
I'm also Danish.
Living in the moment.
Enjoying moments of calm.
Right. Appreciating the moment you're in. Is that better?
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
like,
savoring
like
simple,
appreciating the little joys
things
in life.
Right. It's all about like cozy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Lagom is like the art of balance. So it's a lifestyle choice of modesty, unfussiness, and contentment at heart. Isn't that nice?
Yes. I gotta be honest. Like, I've been practicing hygge long before I even knew what it was. But sometimes I get very distracted by hygge, like trying so hard to go out of my way to make myself comfortable before I actually do something. Like, some days I'll know I need to write an outline for the podcast, but I keep getting distracted trying to, like, okay, I better get coffee. Oh, I need to refill my water. Oh, I need to pee. You know,
Seems like an imbalance.
Get very distracted just trying to make myself comfortable when I just need to focus.
Well, then maybe hygge isn't for you.
Yeah.
If you practice it.
Maybe I just have really bad ADHD.
Maybe you need some Lagom in your life.
Or maybe we both need to get on some meds.
Maybe. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to keep going. Lagom is translated to just the right amount, or the proverb, Lagom are bast.
Oh.
Just the right amount is best. That's what that means.
Oh.
Lagom is something that you can literally fit into any aspect of your life. It's about living a simple life so you can focus on what's important.
That's very nice.
Enjoying a simple yet fulfilling life.
Hey, that's kind of why I quit the post office.
I know, you already are a step there, actually. So balance is key. It's not about everything or anything being perfect. In fact, perfection isn't even Lagom. It's too much. It's about what's just right for you in every aspect of life.
Just the right amount.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So this book goes over 4 core aspects at what Lagom is. Being more mindful of the amount of non-sustainable resources that you use, managing a healthy diet and being aware of the carbon footprint of the products in your home, creating a work/life balance that's right for you, saving instead of spending, and just overall thinking about the wider world and your impact on it. So I'm going to give a quick summary of each of those points.
Cool. I was going to ask you a question, but you'll probably answer it, so I'll just wait.
Okay. Well, the first aspect I want to talk about is Lagom in the home.
Is this the unsustainable products part?
Part of it, yeah.
Okay, cool.
When it comes to your home, ask yourself, Is it too much, not enough, or just right? And I'm not just talking about the structure itself, but I'm talking about the insides. I love this quote from William Morris. He said, "Have nothing in your house that you do not see to be useful or believe to be beautiful."
Wow.
Isn't that like, yeah.
That's kind of like creating a music track. If every single piece of, like, every instrument and every voice and everything isn't absolutely necessary and doesn't add to, like, the beauty, if any factor is making the mix muddier or detracting from the point of the song, get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Have just the right amount.
Look around and think to yourself, do all these knickknacks give me anxiety? All that unfolded laundry that I keep putting off, does that make me happy? All the clothes in my closet, are they too much, not enough, or just right? Love it. I love it. Like, you see that doily that your grandma got you forever ago? You hate it? Get rid of it. It's not Lagom.
What's a doily? I'm just kidding. I know what a doily is.
My specific book of Lagom gives some really good tips on how to save energy around the house and different uses for things that seem like garbage. My personal favorite is the idea of not using so many paper towels, which I do constantly, and instead making like old t-shirt rags with shirts you're just going to throw away. Or another super simple energy-saving idea. Wait.
Okay.
Turning off the lights when you leave the room. That's for you.
That is a very good one, because a lot of energy is not sustainable. Electricity. But my question is, what's more sustainable? Trees or cotton plants?
Well, the cotton, because you can reuse the t-shirt rags. You can't reuse the paper towels.
It's recyclable.
Yeah.
Also, trees, cotton, both grow in the ground. So very
I know you're trying to
sustainable.
play devil's advocate, but I'm pretty sure I'd win if people were going to take sides.
I know. There's a lot of people that think we're running out of trees, but they're very easy to plant.
Then why don't you get out there and plant them?
Touche.
Okay. Lagom in the home, it also means having a decluttered home. And this doesn't mean no clutter. It's just talking about a calming, tidy space. For instance, I like a tidy home, but if you open a drawer, you're going to find a disaster. It's contained.
Yeah,
in
the
a
junk
drawer.
drawer. Everyone has it.
Like, the act of tidying can also be calming. It's a low-impact workout, and it actually produces serotonin, which helps balance your mood and makes you feel good.
That's kind of where the term compartmentalizing comes from, isn't it? You throw all the junk in one drawer.
I don't know. Sounds about
I'm
right.
sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Just that tidying gives you a serotonin boost. If you can even believe that. The book goes on to give some more tips about decluttering and organizing, especially for clothes.
I want to go back real quick, because I said the thing about the trees. I realized the bigger issue here is destroying the homes of the wildlife that live in the forests. And I'm not saying that there's not a problem. But I don't think it's the wood. I think it's the ecosystem.
So you're trying to cover your tracks so that when people inevitably get mad at you,
Yes.
they hear this part.
Also, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Haven't done much research into it.
That coffee's really affecting you today.
I know, guys. I'm sorry. Please take it easy on me with the tree thing. I know I'll get something, but...
Sustainable shopping checklist.
Thank you.
4 things. Before you buy that mug that you are eyeing up at Target, can I live without it? Will I wear it, use it? If so, where or when? Can I afford it? Would I prefer to put that money in my savings account? Number 4, have I got space for it? That's like your shopping checklist when you see that super cute dress.
That's a very good checklist.
I know, and it's frustrating how easy it is to say no.
Yeah.
I can't afford it. No, I don't have space for it.
When do you start?
I am trying to start. If you aren't sure about the checklist, sleep on it, because you'll most likely have a better answer in the morning, which happens to me all the time. I'll buy something and I'll be like, this is amazing. And then I'll wake up the next morning and be like, why did I do that? That's such a dumb thing, but it's fine.
Walk of shame to the return line.
It's true. One of my favorite pages in this book talks about ways to reduce food waste. Do you know that the U.S. alone throws away 60 million tons of produce every year? That's like $2,000 a year per person. Isn't that insane?
How many pounds?
60 million tons.
Oh my God.
Some super simple ways to reduce food waste are eating before going grocery shopping, or planning your meals for the week, and making the most of your leftovers in the fridge. And plus, I've recently started composting, and that is Lagom. I'm very excited about it. I love it. I have a special tin bucket I put by my sink. Put the food in there.
Just the right amount of compost.
It's wonderful. The other day, I was wearing the super long hippie skirt, going barefoot, dumping my compost bucket in the bin. It was great. It was simple pleasures.
You're really getting into it.
I am.
Very nice.
Okay, part 2. The aspect of balanced diet and good health. What do you think I'm going to say about this?
Is this going to be directed towards me?
No.
I'm guessing what you're going to say is having a balanced diet, helping you have good health.
You hit the nail on the head. Lagom is not depriving yourself of anything, rather balancing what you eat.
Wow.
So you should strive to achieve a healthy balance. Okay? Healthy food recipes in this book are to die for, and I'm super excited about some of them. For instance, the caramelized onion chutney.
Oh.
A red currant smoothie, which to me sounds really yummy.
What is currant?
It's a little tiny red berry.
Oh.
Yeah. Open-faced salmon sandwiches.
Oh, my favorite.
Yum.
Like lox salmon?
Yeah.
Oh.
They stress the fact...
That is very Scandinavian, isn't it?
Yeah, super. Even though we all have it drilled into us that low fat is the way to go, it's super important to eat healthy fats, like the kind that you find in the humble avocado.
Oh, yes. This is things I learned from keto.
And also hydration. Like, I feel like we overlook how much water we drink. Hydration is so important. Exercise. But come on, let's be real. People don't like to exercise. I hate exercising.
Same.
But I love moving and being outdoors. But like going to the gym, super not my thing. To me, the gym is a sweaty meat market filled with arrogant hunks.
Meat market?
Yeah.
Like you go there to shop around? I'm just kidding.
I don't have a membership, so no.
I used to like working out, and I'd really like to get back to that point.
Well, good. Because Lagom, it stresses the importance of finding the right exercise for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like walking, swimming, yoga. Just 20 minutes of any of those 3 is going to help boost your mood for the next 12 hours.
So what's your favorite exercise?
Walking, swimming, and yoga. I like all those 3.
Nice.
They're very nice.
You're going to ask me mine?
What's your favorite?
I like the elliptical because it's low impact. It's low impact, but high intensity.
It's interesting.
So you can get your heart rate up really high without too much damage to your joints.
Moving on, stress is something that we all have. And it affects us all in different ways. The right amount of stress and pressure, it's going to help you achieve your goals. But an excess of stress leaves us tired, irritable, and anxious. Over the course of 2 weeks, try to write down all the things that make you feel stressed. It could be anything, like work, places that you go, people, situations that you're in, etc. And then after the 2 weeks, rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. So then you know like what's causing the most stress in your life. Then you can take some steps to try to eliminate the most stressful on the list.
I think you're already ahead of all of us because you have a daily planner.
Yeah, you're right.
You write your junk in.
I do write my junk in it. Realize that we can't change stressful situations sometimes, but we can change our attitude about it. And this is going to have a huge effect on our stress levels. Trying to find even the smallest positive can shift the perspective and be really liberating. I have a really hard time doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work on it.
Very nice.
Also, just slowing down. We all live in such a even faster pace mentality. And with that pace, we never want to say no to family or friends, even though we're feeling really burnt out. Take a moment, whether it be in line at the store or when you're stuck in traffic, just to breathe or listen to some calming music. Like, if you're so busy, that can actually be the time for you. You know what I mean? Look at it as an opportunity, not as an inconvenience.
Wow. That is something I need to work on.
I know. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
And laughing. It's true that laughter really does relieve tension, make us happier, it's a good medicine. Yeah, I just had a word situation.
What was that?
In my mouth. I couldn't say anything for a second. When you're feeling blue, just look up a funny, stupid cat video or listen to your favorite comedian. It's going to help you feel more equipped with the difficult situations that we all find ourselves in. And lastly, before we move on to part 3, is meditation. Giving yourself 5 to 10 minutes a day just to meditate. Think about things that you're grateful for. Like, I like to meditate on my faith, or also give myself 3 reasons or 3 things that I'm grateful for. The definition of gratitude is the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for, and to return kindness. So if meditating on other things is too hard, then just write down all the things you're feeling grateful for.
Yeah.
And think about them.
I think meditation's super important too, and we should kind of define it, don't you think? Like, how would you define it?
Well, I don't like making my mind empty.
Yeah, I've never been able to achieve that.
I'm not really interested in doing that, but I like the idea of meditating very deeply on one aspect.
Yeah. I see it more as focusing on one single thing and working through it in your mind.
Whether it be like spiritual or the gratitude thing or like a situation that's going on, but looking at it through different aspects
like
instead of
negatively.
negatively.
Like if you need to make a big decision.
Yeah.
Just really thinking it through. Processing.
Right.
I think a lot of people would use that word to define it now, but I think they go hand in hand.
Right. I think so too.
I like to do it while I'm on the elliptical.
Do you? I didn't know that.
Because, when you're running, it gets the blood flow really high, and you get more blood to your brain. My brain works a lot quicker when I'm working out than when I'm not working out. Guilty. Anyway.
Well, we're going to move on to part 3, which is achieving healthy work and life balance.
Wow. This one is the kicker, isn't it?
I want to have like some calming waterfall music in the back. Lagom encourages a slower pace of life. It's important to live a simplified life, so it's only populated with what's important to you. You want to make space for me time.
Me time.
Isn't this so zen? Okay, so Lagom at work. Lagom dares you to ask yourself, is it possible to work part-time so I can enjoy more in my life? Do you feel like you work too much? And how can you balance work between your values and needs? Now, working part-time is not going to work for everybody. It definitely means tightening the budget and trying to make this new reasonable budget of what you can realistically live on and then seeing if it works by jumping in.
Yeah, it could take sacrifice.
Yeah. But ask yourself these 3 super important questions. Am I taking too much on? Am I making the best use of my time? And am I happy with the way I'm spending my time?
This is something I did like a few years ago. And I spent the last 3 years trying to prepare for where we are now, like trying to find a way to simplify, because I was in that position where I didn't have the option to work part-time,
Right.
And it took a lot of planning and patience and sacrifice, but we got to this point now.
Yeah.
Part of the sacrifice is giving up our own home. We don't have our castle anymore for just me and you.
Yeah.
And not everyone has that kind of opportunity. So I'm really grateful for that. But where there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
It might take time to like get yourself to a point where you can do that. But anyway.
Like you're saying, if you spread your time too thin, then you're not going to be able to do your best on the things that actually matter most to you.
Very true.
And you'll also start neglecting your personal needs. So it's okay to say no. And it's okay to look at your schedule and realize what's too much. And whatever you do, just don't compare yourself and your productivity to others. I am super no bueno when it comes to that. I love comparing myself. Oh. And I constantly do.
It's so hard.
I know.
Especially when you're doing something that you really love and you're passionate about. And it starts out super fun. And then it becomes a chore or a competition, or like you start worrying about the numbers. That really gets you. Like, I was just thinking about this last night when I was thinking about how I used to be pretty regular making music covers and stuff, because that's something I'm really passionate about, and it was something I really enjoyed doing. But then I kind of looked through the history of my YouTube channel, and I could see where I started to lose focus on my passion, and where I started to focus on the numbers and trying to just do things to grow and get more people, instead of making something that I know I want to make and that the people who were already watching what I was doing would enjoy, which was a tough lesson to learn. You know, sometimes you got to fail before you can do things the right way. Anyway, I took a really long break from music, and now I'm finally starting to get back into it again, and my focus is on enjoying my time and filling my time with doing something I'm passionate about, instead of focusing on numbers that don't matter. There's no number you can hit that will make you happy or make you feel like I've made it. There's always more that you want if that's what you're focused on. So focusing on your passions, like you said, filling your time with the things that make you happy, the things that are just right for you, that's a lesson I've recently learned.
Good.
You feel like I just went down a rabbit hole?
Definitely.
I was just applying this to myself.
Good. No, I'm glad. Because, yeah, like you said, comparing your hobbies like that, your jobs, your houses, your cars, eventually it's going to take all the joy away from those things. And it takes away the positive things that are happening in your life, because they're meaningless at that point once you just keep comparing them.
Very true.
Lagom is not about perfect or better or more. Remember, it means just right. So allowing yourself to feel good about your achievements and what you've done, just letting yourself feel confident with just right, it's going to make you feel so much better about yourself.
Yeah. And that's not to say, like, not trying to constantly improve, but be better than yourself yesterday, not trying to be better than someone else.
Right. So try starting off your day right by listening to a positive playlist on Spotify, or pick up the house a little bit so you'll come home to a more relaxing environment. And don't put off that small chore that's going to annoy you all day. Just keep your day simple.
That's something I need to work on.
It definitely is. Keeping your day simple with easy to achieve goals that you can check off a list is going to make you feel like you're fulfilling a lot more than what you previously thought.
Yeah. That's something you are really good at, is when you have things to do, you get them done.
Thank you.
I really admire that.
I am a
procrastinator.
I hate procrastinating. I hate it so much.
I know. I hate it too, because it stresses me the heck out. But I do it, and I really need to work on that.
Well, practice Lagom.
I think I will.
Lagom.
We gotta make a printout and put it on the fridge.
I guess I could make that. Just to print out the outline.
Yeah. 10 pages on the side of the fridge.
So, remember all those things I just said, and also saying no, it also applies to work. It's not just with social gatherings. It's easy to get in the habit of always accepting more work than we can chew. I used to do that all the time with my old job.
Yeah.
She'd always ask me to work extra days and more hours, and I always said yes.
And you were always stressed out.
And I was always, dying stressed. Found no joy in life.
I kind of did that yesterday. I worked longer than I should have.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, I was burnt out.
Yeah. And so it's okay to say no. Politely declining added projects at work with a reasonable explanation is going to show your boss that you have awareness of your workload limits. And it's also going to alleviate stress once you're able to vocalize that you just can't do it.
Something I learned working at the post office is the more you give, the more they take.
Yeah. I'm so glad I'm done with that job. So, balance thinking versus doing. We do this all the time. We think about something and then we never do it. Right?
Yeah.
We all need goals and we strive to do those things, but there's always something that holds us back, and that's procrastination, like we just talked about.
A lot of times, the reason I procrastinate is because I'm worried, I want to do it perfectly.
Really?
And I never feel like I'm at the right capacity to achieve that.
Huh, I didn't know that.
So, but the most important thing is just starting.
Right.
Like, it doesn't have to be perfect right away. You can get there if you just push yourself to get started.
Well, and you also probably see or do this. We find ourselves saying the following: I don't have time to do it, or I might fail. And if I leave it, someone else can sort it out.
Mm-hmm.
If it's really...
I'm sorry.
Why?
I feel like that's how you feel I feel when I don't do things around the house.
Oh, it totally is.
Like, you feel like I'm saying, oh, Rosie will do it. In reality, I'm just like, I forgot.
But did you forget?
See? Exactly. Hey, this is one of the struggles of a relationship, a human relationship. There's...
Human?
Yeah, like... like we obviously had very different upbringings. We have very different values and priorities. I'm not going to say values, but we have different priorities, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because we were just raised in such different households. But, you know, we aren't going to give up just because of that.
Right.
Thank you for being patient with me and
when
understanding.
The going gets tough, the tough get going.
Wow. Where'd that come from? Is that a quote?
I just pulled it out of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's a quote from somewhere.
Wow. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
You are tough.
Thank you.
I'm definitely not.
I'm a tough old Rose.
Yeah. I guess I did write a song last week that was about... It was very raw and honest and kind of embarrassing, but it was about me disappointing you. And it's not that I want to disappoint you, and I know it's something I need to improve.
Here you go, folks. This is real.
This is very real.
We are not the perfect couple that some think we are, which I don't know why.
Well, I don't think anyone thinks we're a perfect couple. I think they appreciate that we're working on a relationship and not just giving up on it.
Well, we never said we were going to give up on it.
I know. But I mean...
But I'm feeling like it right now. Kidding. It was a joke.
I just mean throwing in the towel is an option for a lot of people, not for us.
No, I don't think that's an option. I mean, unless you do something really stupid, like cheat on me, and then I'll be like, get your butt out of here.
Understandable.
I'm going to go find the cute cashier at Trader Joe's that I met last week.
So
True
you're still
story.
thinking about him, huh?
No.
Your face.
Awkward.
I get it. It's fine. I mean, it's natural to appreciate when someone hits on you. That's the way it is.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm sorry for that rabbit hole. I like to get real sometimes.
Well, yeah, and this is kind of very real. Anyways, to go with the procrastination, the whole idea is like, stop. If you want to do it, then do it. Just strive to change from intention to action. Like, the gap there is not big if you don't make it big. Just do it. Mm-hmm. So I like that. And to help you do it, give yourself a support system. Like, just one person, a friend, and say, hey, I want to do this. Can you meet me for coffee in a week and I can tell you about how it went?
Wow.
Like, that's going to help give you that oomph.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to support your friend or disappoint your friend and be like, oh, I actually failed.
Man, I need to listen to this episode every day.
When you actually meet that friend for a coffee, you're going to feel so good to give them the update about the progress you've made. You're going to leave feeling boosted by their enthusiasm and advice, and they're going to feel boosted because you actually did it, and they're going to be like, I can do it now too.
Oh,
isn't that great?
It's a good cycle.
Yeah, it's a really good cycle.
I need that because I obviously want to shed some LBs, but you don't need to. So I need to find a support system.
I have a friend for you that really wants to do that
Who's
with
this?
you. His name rhymes with
How's that plantain treating you?
It's good.
Good.
Family is also super important, and especially in our work/life balance, they need to take top priority. So, especially in this day and age, we need to make sure that our family's closer than ever to us.
Not physically, obviously.
Right. But emotionally and mentally, the family unit needs to spend time together. And it can't be overrun with too many activities like the soccer games and kids going to baseball and, just limit it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like if they start to get in the way of real family relationships.
Yeah. So decide on how much is too much when it comes to social commitments. Distinguish between should and must events. Stop seeing those people that stress you out. Like, don't cut out your Aunt Susan, who's super annoying, but just like limit your time. It's going to make you feel less stressed. Or hang out with those annoying relatives or people with other people around. It's going to help.
Yeah.
Then you can make sarcastic eyes at the other person, like, here she goes.
Well, I don't know about that.
One of my other favorite pages, TV and screen time. I love this page. Because too much screen time is seriously unhealthy, and we're all addicted to screens. I'm staring at one right now. You have one popped open on your lap. It's bad. You need to keep track of your screen time so you realize how much it's actually taking away from you.
Yeah.
And I really don't even like TV. And it's not that I don't like it, because I actually do like it. But I hate TV during the day. Like, I hate it until 8 p.m.
This episode of Voice of the Victim podcast is sponsored by Best Fiends.
That's a game. That's different. I'm talking about mind-numbing TV. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I hate it. I like to have a rule that I cannot watch it until 8 p.m. But what about phone time? I don't have a phone rule, and I definitely am on my phone too much.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go. Lagom is about clearing the decks, focusing on what's really important. Is Instagram that much more important than my husband? No.
I have an interesting... Thank you for saying that, by the way. I appreciate that. Yeah. I have an interesting idea. How about if you have to charge your phone before the end of the day, you're on it too much?
Oh, then I'm in the clear. Thankfully.
Yeah. We both have pretty good batteries now. With my old phone, it would have been like...
Same. Mine was...
half hour a day.
Mine was like at 60% by 9 o'clock in the morning.
So I guess that's a bad rule because phone batteries are so much different.
How about when
phone to phone?
The spouse says, hey, can you stop being on your phone that much? Then we have to realize that maybe we need to do that.
I do say that to you a lot. Like,
I know.
How's Instagram?
I need to be better about that.
Yeah. Well, I need to be better about a lot of things too. So.
Good. The last thing that I'm going to talk about in this part, which is part number 3, by the way, is sleep. Because a typical adult needs to sleep between 7 and 9 hours each night. And sleeping charges us up for a new day. So it's super important for a healthy and happy mind. But one of the most common causes of sleep loss is an overburdened mind. So try to declutter your head by writing down your thoughts for the day or making a to-do list for tomorrow, or if you need to, spill your guts out about how angry you are. Get it out on paper, because the likelihood of you still thinking about it afterwards is going to be a lot lower.
I miss that feeling when I was a kid and I just got done like really heavily crying. And I was so exhausted from crying that I just fell asleep.
Well, that's depressing. But yeah, that's a great feeling.
You know what I mean? It's like nothing else matters now besides sleep.
Yeah.
Is that like a anomaly? Not an experience you've had?
Well, yeah, I've had some really crappy things happen when I was a kid, but...
Well, no, I just mean the falling asleep because you've been crying so hard.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe I just blocked them out from my memory.
I'm sorry to bring that up.
Yeah, you a-hole.
Hey, keep it clean.
Okay, my last part of this outline is part 4, which is balancing your needs with the wider world. Man, this is hippy-dippy, and I love it.
What page are we on?
Like 270 out of 300. Oh, you mean in the actual outline? 8.
We have a 300-page outline?
No, I'm talking about the book that I got my info from.
Oh, did you say what book it was?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
The Little Book of Lagom, and I have the author in the end.
Oh, good.
So remember, Lagom is what's just right for you, and you don't need to make it hard on yourself, and you don't have to go completely eco-hippie like me. But just
I thought
having...
you said ego.
Eco.
Okay.
Or hippy-dippy.
That makes sense.
As I also like to say. But just having thoughtfulness for the planet and making small, tiny changes really will make a difference. And imagine how good it would be if everyone started making little, tiny differences.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, it's easy to say that. Big changes are made by a lot of little changes, I guess. But, if everyone was focused on finding their perfect balance, people would be a lot less irritable.
Honestly, it's made me a happier person.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to malign people whose name is Karen. But there are a lot of people who have been labeled Karens on the internet who seem very stressed out.
Whoever's named Karen listening to this, I am so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Your name is constantly being bashed.
But what I'm saying is, the way the world is right now, and like you were talking about in the beginning, life is just not the way it's supposed to be right now. Life is so different than it was a year ago. And it's really stressful. And I understand why people are so tightly wound right now. Okay, some of them are inexcusable. But, like, the ones that just have, like, outbursts, I'm not excusing their actions, but I do understand why everyone is so tightly wound and like a can of soda that's been shaken up and just ready to explode.
How does this coincide with eco-friendly?
Because people need to focus on taking care of themselves and finding this balance so they're not as stressed out and don't explode like a can of soda.
Pop,
I'm sorry. Sometimes I make connections in my head and then it sounds like I'm going down a rabbit hole, but I'm really, I have a point. Mm-hmm. It's just hard to find it. I'm sorry. I'll stop interrupting.
Personally, I'm trying to use less plastic, and I found some really cool things like this company called Blue Land, which is not even a sponsor, but it's
Is that the dog food?
No. You should know what Blue Land is. It's the spray bottle cleaning products.
Oh.
So you get like these forever bottles, and then they give you these little tablets of concentrated cleaning product, and you put water in it, and then they dissolve.
So you reuse the glass, and you're not using one-time use plastics?
Yeah, because they send you new cleaning products.
Are there any different scents for the soap? Because I'm not a fan of the one we have now.
And then another thing I'm doing is laundry. Instead of using the plastic laundry jug, I'm getting these little sheets of soap, and then you just fold them and put them in.
Those are cool. Can you rip them in half if you have a small load?
Yeah, I guess. You can do whatever you want, really.
Cool.
But anyways, it's not just being about eco-friendly. It's just important to remember to be kind. A recent study proved that those who volunteer for selfless reasons, they actually live longer. So it just feels good not to be a jerk. And it will give you some perks, too. Yeah.
And we've been talking about this whole episode, how we got to take care of ourselves. But there is definitely value in not always being internally focused. And instead focusing on helping others for a bit. Because it really does make you feel good.
For instance, I'm going to be nicer to people on the road. Because I can get pretty road raged about jerks on the road.
I feel like anyone can get road raged.
But honestly, it's like, okay, I don't know them, and I don't know what happened to them that day. I don't know why they're speeding or on my butt. Maybe they're rushing to the hospital. Maybe someone just died. Maybe someone's dying in the back seat.
Maybe there's bees in the car.
I don't know. Maybe they just found out their spouse is cheating. So I'm just going to work on not flipping out on people on the road.
Maybe they hate their life.
Maybe.
Because they're not practicing Lagom.
So here's my other list of small kindnesses to ones we love, and they don't even cost money. Would you imagine that? Call your grandma or your great uncle or a relative that you know would love to hear from you. Give flowers or veggie from your garden. Remind loved ones that you love them. Offer encouragement to someone feeling down, or go retro and write somebody a letter. People love mail. Clean up litter that's on the street instead of staring at it as you walk past, as if it's going to be evaporated in the air with your eyesight.
See, this is where I have a hard time with germs.
You don't have to do that one specifically. I'm just saying that giving someone that you love attention, or, okay, you really shouldn't hug people because of the COVID germies. But just so you know, a hug is one of the quickest ways to boost happiness. It encourages the flow of oxytocin, which soothes your nervous system and lowers your blood pressure and stress levels.
See, this is the problem right now. No one can hug.
Maybe that is the
Everyone is like a soda can that's been shaken up because
Why are you saying soda? You say pop. We're Midwestern.
I believe soda is the correct term.
I would like a divorce now. Because it's pop. Like it's always been.
Well, it's been fun, you guys. Anyway, I used to say pop, and then I also used to say bagel. And then I got ridiculed when I went to Ohio. So then I started saying soda and
Ohio?
Bagel, not bagel.
It's bagel.
I know, I've heard that. But now I'm really confused because Ohio ridiculed me for saying bagel.
Oh, you are a funny goose. But seriously, being kind and generous, it doesn't have to mean opening a wallet. It's just small things. And it feels so good when I come home and Ryan has a card written out for me, or he picks some flowers, and it's so nice. I get such a nice feeling when I give somebody veggies from my garden, or if I bake something for someone. It's so therapeutic. It's going to brighten someone's day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about it for Lagom.
Wow.
Kind of a drawn-out explanation. But I really do think it's a great lifestyle to live by. I mean, simplifying your life, removing the extras, having the right amount of what you need, being balanced.
Absolutely.
Makes you happy. So there you go. If you guys are interested in this book that I took all this information from, it's called The Little Book of Lagom by Johnny Jackson and Elias Larson.
Very nice.
Yeah. It's a super stressful time right now, you guys, and
it is.
especially when you think not only about the pandemic, but all the other stuff that's happening. It can be super overwhelming and scary, and it freaks me out every day.
That explosion in Lebanon today? What the heck?
I know, it's just...
And it sounds like there's no official report yet, but it sounds like it was a freak accident just because a bunch of explosives were stored in the same area.
Firecrackers.
And it just created a chain until it turned into a giant explosion, and at least 50 people had died, and thousands injured. It's terrifying.
I know. Well, hopefully,
and that's just today.
Hopefully a little Lagom will help with our everyday tragedies, because if you remember that we all have a purpose on this big blue ball that we call Earth, maybe that'll make you feel a little bit better.
Is that an outline?
Yeah.
Love it.
We're all loved, and we all have love to give. So, let's give it and feel it. That's all. Oh yeah, and then my last thing. Breathe in. Breathe out. Smell the flowers. Blow out the candle. I taught my 2-year-old that.
Aw, that's right. That's so sweet.
Remember what you're grateful for, and happy Lagom. Peace.
I wish you were my nanny when I was little.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. You couldn't afford me.
Couldn't afford you. What's that from? Oh, Iron Man 2.
Mm-hmm. So that's it. That's all I got. That's my outline. I'm sorry it was super long. I'm sorry that it's not true crime. But I just, at the time, couldn't write about the girls being force-fed into marriage and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry for just about everything.
You're sorry?
Yeah.
No, don't be sorry.
Someone did just say I apologize too much.
They did.
In an email or something.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying hard lately to focus more on being true to myself and speaking truth rather than being overly concerned with pleasing everybody, because I know that's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I'm working on.
Good.
That's all I have to say. Well, what about you guys? How are you doing right now? It's obviously a really tough time. Hey, you know what? It's funny that you put this episode together, because a couple weeks ago when we covered Wayfair, I almost scrapped that whole episode and just recorded a little one-on-one, like almost the same intro you had. Like, life sucks right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, thank you, Rosie, for doing this week's episode.
You're welcome.
This is one of the few times where you did an episode when I actually have something written for next week. So feeling pretty good about that. I logomed my way into that, if you know what I mean. Anyway, yeah. Next week we have a very interesting story. A bit of a mystery that was solved eventually, but you'll just have to wait and see what that is. Mm-hmm. And then the week after that, we have another very crazy story that I can't believe isn't more popular.
Very excited.
Isn't more known, I guess. But, yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Again, our house tour is up on Patreon now. And just want to say thank you to everybody who listens and who enjoys our show. Yeah, that's about it. Stay safe, stay healthy, or at least do your best to stay healthy. Be responsible.
Stay beautiful.
All right. Well, you done, Rosie?
Mm-hmm.
Ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.